There is a fight tonight over whether a veteran from Florence can bring his dog with him to the VA hospital in Cincinnati. Brandon Rimmer was given a ticket, but he says he has the right to bring his service animal with him. The VA says the animal is not a service dog trained to help a person with a specific disability, so it's within its right to keep it out of the hospital. Rimmer says his lab helps him with his PTSD and is covered by the Americans with Disabilities Act.
Do what they need to do, but my goal is to get it changed, okay? I'm not asking for money, I'm not asking for publicity, I'm simply just asking that this needs to be fixed. This is wrong.
Our Tom McKee has spent hours looking into all of this today, and it appears you took a deep dive into the content, but it's still about as clear as mud in some cases.
Well, that is true, very true. But you first of all have to start with the categories that I've come across for service animals or animals that are used in therapy or emotional type of things. There's the service animals, kind of like what we're talking about here. Those are dogs specifically trained to help someone with a disability. They're blind, they may be deaf, they may have lost a limb. It's very specific training. They have to be able to handle a task that would help that person with a disability.
Like opening a door or something. Okay.
Very, very specialized training. Then you have therapy dogs. Now, we're very, very used to seeing those therapy dogs. Let's say Children's Hospital has therapy dogs. They're brought in from the outside. They counsel the patients, make them feel a little bit better, and then the dogs are gone at the end of the day or are not in that area anymore. And then we have the emotional support dogs, and that's what we're hearing about a lot with the airlines right now. You have someone brings the little dog, wants to have it in their seat, and it's for their emotional support because they get nervous or they get upset while flying. So those are the three categories right now, and there's different rules for every single one of those categories. But we're focused on this one here with Brandon Rimmer with the service dogs.
Okay, so what does his dog, what category does his dog fall under?
Well, he says it falls under the category of a service dog, and he says it helps him with his PTSD, and because it helps him with his PTSD, it is covered by the Americans with Disabilities Act, which allows him to have that dog with him when he goes into the hospital. But the Veterans Affairs Department has this list of regulations about what animals can and can't do in a hospital. They say because it's a puppy, because it's not trained to perform a specific task, he can't bring it in. The chief in the incident report last week, the chief, David Bartos, told me that he was given an opportunity twice to have somebody else come and take the dog while he was in for treatment. He didn't do that. There was an accident from the dog when he was under treatment, and because of all these different things, he was given that citation to federal court to go on July 18th at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, I have one last very quick question. Is there any way the VA might reconsider how it views this kind of animal?
Well, the Americans with Disabilities Act basically says that a person with PTSD is one of the things that's covered, but if it's totally for an emotional support, it's not covered. And then in 2015, we had this guideline issued it was in the Federal Register, where they basically said, well, I guess we can't discriminate, we can't exclude the ADA. So there's a lot of work to be done yet. I suspect you're going to hear a lot more about this conversation over the next weeks and months.
And I suspect there will be more stories.
I think
Tom
so.
McKee, thanks for taking the deep dive into the content for clarification. We appreciate it.